Hey, you have time? If you don't have time, don't continue watching. I have time. And I'd like to tell you a story. But, you know, a good story is like a good soup. It takes time to tell a good story. It takes time to make a good soup. It takes time to cook a good soup. You need the right flavors, right ingredients. And most of all, you need patience. So this has been, until now, a test of your patience. I don't need you to keep listening. It's only if you want to keep listening. And the story I want to tell you is the story about Signor Giovanni from Firenze in Italia. You see, Signor Giovanni is a tailor. He comes from a family line of distinguished tailors. His father was a tailor. His grandfather was a tailor. His father's grandfather of his father was a tailor, and so forth and so forth. And it's been passed down the generations, the art of being a tailor. Now, Signor Giovanni, by the way, everybody in the neighborhood calls him Signor Giovanni, out of respect. He doesn't know what this whole respect thing is about. He just calls himself Giovanni. He sees himself as a very simple person. He doesn't make a big fuss about himself. Not at all. And yet, people from all over the world, the most rich and famous and not famous people, come to him when they want a beautiful suit done. And there's a waiting line. Because every suit by him is done by hand. You see? When you actually have the opportunity to have a suit made by Signor Giovanni, and by the way, he has his tiny little atelier or his studio where he lives in Via Romana 5, Firenze. No sign, no neons, no nothing. Just 5, Via Romana 5. So, I mean, if you don't know where he is, that's the surest sign is that you don't need to know. You don't need to be his client. And the thing is that he is a tailor, and yet, if you ask him what he is, his answer to you will be sono un artista. I am an artist. And he will explain to you that what he does and what he creates is a showpiece that will empower and show off his client to the very best that he can do, to his client's utmost. He's a craftsman in the highest tradition, and everything is Mano, by hand. E mano. And yet, yes, by the way, he has his son working with him. His son is very quiet, studious. Doesn't talk very much. His father runs the game. Signor Giovanni. And yet, you see already that the son one day will be taking the place of Signor Giovanni in his own right, when Signor Giovanni is no longer capable of doing that work or art. And when you first come to meet Signor Giovanni, he's not going to talk to you about anything that has to do with suits. He'll sit. Maybe you'll go outside to one of the cafes, the small Italian cafes, everything wood in the old style, with a cornetto. You know, you have un cappuccio e cornetto. Maybe a cappuccino with a brioche. Or tramezzini. Or maybe a little grappa in the middle of the day, you know? Or un vino bianco. You never know. He's very surprising. So he might take you out for coffee, he might give you coffee inside, in his studio, at home. He might take you for a walk in one of the parks. But in any case, he will be connecting with you to sense who you are, to feel you. He will be connecting with his heart, with his soul, with his spirit, and with his mind to get a grasp of all your inner glory, all what makes his client, what makes you his client so special. Because like I said, in his words, he is actually creating a showpiece to show off his client in all his client's glory and power. And that's a process. And his clients know. They can't come to him and say, hey, Giovanni, hey, you know, I need a suit for tomorrow night or for next week or for next month. My son is getting married, I need a suit. Now with Signor Giovanni, lente lente, tranquille, calma. Take it easy, slowly. It's a process. You can't hurry it up. He's an artist, sono un artista. And, you know, measurements? No ping laser guns to measure. None of that stuff. Hell no. He's going to take out an old tape measure and he's going to measure and he's going to take his time. And the next time you come, he's going to measure again and you might have filled out a bit. And he's not going to frown. Oh, you know, it's a little tight it's going to be, or you went up a bit. No. Because he understands. He's an artist. He understands nature, how life really is. You go out, you have a beautiful dinner in a trattoria one evening, and you might put on a little bit weight. On the other hand, you might come back from a trip, a business trip, or a diplomatic tour, or whatever you do, and you might have lost a couple of kilos. It's okay. It's normal. It's life. And he measures everything by hand. And after all that is done, and once you get to, you know, when he gets a feel of who you are and what he can do for you to serve you, then he will take you on a little tour of fabrics. And he will show you the most glorious fabrics. And he will explain the texture and the feel and the drape and all these terms and words, not in a way that you won't understand, in a way which will complement your understanding of suits. It won't be technical. And every fabric is more beautiful than the other. But in the end, it's something which you have to feel comfortable in and has to go well with you as the client. So if you might be, a little short and heavy, maybe a beautiful charcoal pinstripe might, vertical, might not be the thing. Or maybe might be the thing, I don't know. But every fabric goes with a certain client. And then the process of actually putting the suit together, tailoring it, and going for final fittings, and again and again and again, and which buttons, and how many buttons, and in the back, how to cut it. But you see, it's a process of creating beauty, of creating a showpiece for showing off his clients in their utmost glory and power. It's a process. And it's a process which has been going on generation by generation. And not many people know about Giovanni. Only the right people who need to know. You see, a lot of people, the young kids in the neighborhood, they joke around with him and they love him because he respects them. He sees in them, he sees himself as a young kid. So he doesn't think they're, making noise or being rowdy or whatever. He feels he's one of them. So they give him respect. They call him Giovanni. They don't call him Signor Giovanni. They call him Giovanni, but anybody else will call him Signor Giovanni. The kids don't call him that. And so these kids will come up and they'll show him all these pictures and the new iPhones and everything. And they say, hey, Giovanni, how come you don't do Instagram? How come you don't do Facebook? How come you don't Google? And how come you're not LinkedIn? In their Italian accent in Firenze. So Giovanni will ask them, why? For what? So they'll tell him, well, so everybody can see the beauty of the suits you create and you're an artist and all that. We know. We see the people who come to your studio. Why don't you show the world? And then Giovanni will look at them with a smile in his eyes and say, and what will they be able to see exactly on the flat screen of their iPhone or whatever they are carrying in their pocket? Will they be able to see anything of my work? So then the kids are stuck. Say, well, yeah, but Giovanni, then you get Instagram, you put pictures and you advertise and people will come and you'll have much more work. So Giovanni will tell them, hey, but then I won't have time to tend my garden, which I love so much. I won't have time to take those long walks with my 2 dogs who I love. Non tirare, non tirare. That's what he tells them all the time, his dogs. They keep pulling him, non tirare. And he says, I won't have time to read my books or to sit just in silence and to watch the sunset. So you see, Signor Giovanni is a total different, or has a total different perspective on how things should be done in life. And it's very different from how things are being done today. And to be honest with you, there's not that many people left like Signor Giovanni in his business. You have the H&Ms and Zara's and C&A's popping up everywhere, and all the chain stores, and like the fast food, you have the fast clothes business and made in China and whatever. Yeah, that's fine, hey? But you see, this is a totally different approach. Not to suits, but to life. And that's what makes Signor Giovanni so special. He serves his clients so powerfully, so deeply. He brings out the best in them because he knows that he himself is not the issue here. It's his clients, their glory, their beauty, their power, their inner self, which he brings out or allows those sides to shine within the showcase of the suits and garments which he creates for them. Think about Signor Giovanni, and think if you know anybody like Signor Giovanni. I think you understood.